Now that we have all of the files, the albedo texture file, the parameters texture file, the normal texture file, the FBX file, and the thumbnail file, we are ready to assemble the Trainz asset. Open Trainz and the Content Manager window. From the filters in the Content Manager window, select Today. In the Developer menu, select New Content to create a new asset. Select the new asset and right mouse button click and select Open and Reveal in Finder. You will see the config.txt file that Trainz has created in the folder. Add your asset files: albedo, normal, parameters, FBX, and thumbnail. Open the config.txt file. You will see two lines of text: a unique identifying number and a line showing that at the moment the kind of asset you are creating is unknown. The identifying number has two parts. The first is your unique identifying number. Separated by a colon is a unique number assigned to this asset. Each time you create an asset, this second part will be unique. Trainz can create several different kinds of assets: scenery, track, locomotives, etc. So you need to identify which type of asset you are creating. A list of the different types of assets you can create can be found here. In our case, it will be a scenery asset, so change unknown to scenery. Now let's add the minimum information needed to create and view your asset in Trainz. I'm going to make the asset compatible with Trainz 2019 and newer versions of Trainz by using a Trainz build number of 4.6. Give your asset a name. I'm going to call this one Trainz Demo Asset. Add a category class. A list of possible category classes can be found here. I'm going to use BB, which indicates that the asset is a buildable asset. Mesh table LOD transition distance is the distance in meters from the viewer at which the asset will disappear. All of these single-line entries are known as tags. In addition to the tags, two multiple-line entries called containers are required: mesh tables and thumbnails. Shortly we are going to finish setting up the Trainz asset by submitting the changes we are making. At this time, a file with a Trainz mesh suffix will be created using the information in the FBX file. Here we need to enter the name of the FBX file with the Trainz mesh suffix. Setting the auto create line to 1 means that the asset will be visible in-game. If you were to set it to 0, the asset would be hidden. The thumbnail container contains the name and size of the thumbnail file. The format of the containers is important. In particular, all of the open brackets must be followed by closing brackets. Once all of the information has been entered into the config.txt file, you can close the file and close the config.txt window. In the Content Manager window, right mouse button the asset and select Submit Edits. If all goes well, the asset status will change from Open for Edit to Modified. If the status indicates that the asset is faulty, right mouse button select the asset and select Errors and Warnings to get some idea of the problem. Usually it is simply a spelling or formatting error. However, two rather annoying errors can occur. The first is an indication that a texture file has a uniform color. This can be fixed by taking the file into a program such as GIMP and painting a small amount of black or white to remove the uniformity. I usually paint it in the corner in such a small amount that it will not be seen. The second error gives the message, "The meshes in LOD Level 1 must total at least 20% fewer polygons than the nearest higher LOD." Often, as is the case here, the model doesn't need levels of detail applied. The plane here is only 2 polygons, triangles. This error can be fixed by duplicating the asset, selecting Command plus the D key, and then for the duplicate, select Submit Edits. It's a good idea to view your model in Blender as soon as you can. In Blender, we didn't add any lighting as the model was going to be exported to Trainz, which provides its own lighting. Also, since we added a parameters file to the principal BSDF shader node, where Blender expects a roughness file, the image in the 3D editor window of the shading workspace will not reflect what the model will look like in Trainz. Fortunately, with PBR Painter, the workflow is non-destructive, so you can go back and make changes to achieve the desired results. Also keep in mind the distance at which the asset is likely to be viewed. If you place the asset any distance away from the track, it is likely that fine detail will never be seen.